As a president, you have to introduce, right?
I'm not presenting. Yeah. Sit down, sit down.
Just when I come to present.
That's what I was telling.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to our first community forum of the year. I am overwhelmed to see the response from the community. MashaAllah, it's overcrowded now. Jazakallah khair for coming. Inshallah, we have some presentations that we would like to basically give you a brief update about all the activities that has been happening for last 3 to 4 months. Particularly, I'm talking about the solar project, I'm talking about the reverence project, and obviously Ramadan updates, inshallah. This is the one, right? So we have this agenda, inshallah, for today. We would like to introduce our new board members. I know probably you guys know about the new board members, inshallah. Then we would like to do the dua and then some committee updates. And I would like basically to see if we can hold on to our questions so that we can answer them at the end, inshallah ta'ala. So just the introductions. First of all, I would like to, Khala Noah, she is our new president, inshallah, for ICOI. And this is Sister Farah. She is the new board member. Everybody knows Brother Amin, mashallah, he is our executive director. Brother Mohi, alhamdulillah, and Brother Atta, inshallah. And I think Brother Al-Malki just stepped out, but he should be here in a minute. And myself. Brother here. And we are missing Sister Kautar and Brother Ahmed Sidki, inshallah. I don't know whether he is. And Amr Balna. So we are missing 3 board members. Sister Kautar is actually traveling, so she won't be here. Brother Amr is also traveling. And let's start with the dua, inshallah, and then we'll continue.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أفضل الصلاة والتسليم اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل بيننا شقيا ولا محروما اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا اللهم أصلح ذات بيننا اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى اللهم بلغنا رمضان واجعلنا من عتقائك من النار في هذا الشهر الكريم اللهم يا ربنا وفقنا لكل خير وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على عبدك ونبيك ورسولك محمد في الأولين والآخرين إنك حميد مجيد.
So inshallah we will dive into the committee updates now, inshallah. Oops. Let me give you a solar project update. Alhamdulillah, so far, we started this project back in January 2024. So we are almost a year ago we started this project. The committee members for that project is myself, Brother Nadir. I don't know whether Nadir is here. Sister Karima, of course, and Brother Amin, and Brother Umar Habib. I don't know whether he's here also or not. So we started with this project. The project is a bigger project because, we have to conduct and talk to the different vendors. We basically go with minimum 3 codes that we received. Based on those 3 codes, basically once we get the codes, we have to review the codes. We need to understand that codes. And then basically decide upon that codes, like, which one we would like to pick it up. So that committee actually picked up the code with the Optimum Solar, with strong references that we received. So that process itself, it took about 3 to 4 months, or probably more than that, I think, maybe 4 or 5 months. So our initial code was for 100K, which basically included a 43.5 kVA system, which includes 110 panels, 395 watts each panel, and the battery and the string inverter, alhamdulillah. So when we were applying for the permit to basically do the installation, as you know, the designs has to be submitted to the city, and there is back and forth time that actually consumes in order to get that approval. So that approval itself took about 3 to 4 months. Alhamdulillah, we received that approval back in November, late November. So when we received that approval, during that process, we also found out that there were better panels available at that time. So we upgraded our system from 43.5K to 45.1K, which is approximately $4,000 more that we have to spend, but we got a larger system. The extra things like battery and string inverter remains the same. So the key facts about this, as I explained to you, it's about the permit process that actually took longer than we usual because of the fact that it is a bigger, massive project. And I would like to acknowledge one of the brother, I don't know whether he's here, but Brother Nader Al-Arab. He's one of our technical lead. He has significantly spent time on this. He was the one who was running around. He was basically, you know, if there are tiles, broken tiles, he's going to go and get the broken tiles. He's tirelessly working with the vendor every single day, and I cannot ignore the fact that Sister Karima, she's been continuously working, acknowledging, basically fitting their schedule, and she's been so much overwhelmed to basically, and I cannot thank her enough, mashallah. So, and of course, Brother Amin, mashallah, he has been always involved in every single aspect, and he's encouraging, he's basically pushing the community to do this work, alhamdulillah. So the financials wise, we have raised about $103,300, out of which we spent 94K, and we have to give a balance of another approximately 10K at the end of the completion. The status of this project right now, the installation is completed, and we have actually passed the city and fire inspection. Alhamdulillah. So that is a big one. City and fire inspection is not easy because they will come and review everything that has to be as per the design. And then now we are in a process. Actually, we already applied for the SCE, permit to operate it is called. So once we get that permit, our hope is that we should be able to fully utilize this system in the month of Ramadan. That is our hope. So as of, I think last week, we applied for the SCE permit. Inshallah ta'ala, it is been worked on, and we have one of the brothers who is helping us to speed up that process, inshallah. That is our solar update. If you have any questions at the end, we can answer those questions, inshallah. Let me move on to the next update. The Reverence Project update. This is a bigger one, mashallah. So, you know, this project actually started after we concluded the solar project in terms of getting the approvals and everything, and then we would like to get this to this project as well because there were a lot of community members who approached different board members asking to see the upgrades. They wanted to have the lighting to be upgraded, you know, the painting, because it's been 20 years, you know, and this is something that community was asking all the time. So we formed a committee, myself, Sister Karima, of course, Brother Amin, Brother Al-Masri, right? He's here somewhere, I guess. Yeah, Brother Al-Masri, and Brother Ahmad Al-Malki, and Brother Ahmad Sidki. So we were the part of this reverence project. This reverence project itself is a massive one. The reason I say that is because of the scope of the work you can see. It has painting job that has to be done, waterproofing. So we cannot do painting without waterproofing because we would like to make sure that there is no other activity should happen after we paint because we do not have any seepages, anything like that. Again, the credit goes to Sister Karima for this. She was the one who was basically making sure that everything that is ticked off before we actually spend any single dollar on that particular project. And the lighting and the carpets, of course, and the bathroom renovations. There was always an issue in the bathrooms about the privacy issues that was taken care in terms of the partitions I'm talking about. Now, I can understand that, like, you know, about the carpet, you know, there was a lot of debate about the carpet. When we were actually getting the quotes for the carpet locally from the local suppliers, we were getting very high quotes, and the quality was not acceptable by few of our members here because the fact that it was not the best quality. We were replacing a carpet after 20 years, so we wanted to do the best possible. So it was a 3 times money-wise difference in terms of what carpet we was getting from the local supplier. And plus the quality, we have to compromise on the quality as well. So Brother Ahmad Al-Masri, mashallah, may Allah reward him. He has been really working tirelessly to get us the best possible carpet from the Turkey, directly from the manufacturer. It is a custom carpet, just to make sure that. And it is 100% wool. And if you want the basically technicalities of this carpet, we can give it to you. But this is one of the best possible carpet that is available in the market today. Right? And the best thing about all of this is like, when we had these projects on hand, and we started sometime back in late November or December, I would say, and the goal was to see how we can accomplish this before the month of Ramadan. That was the challenging part. Now, if you look at the activities, the painting, everything has to be done inside. Now, the biggest challenge was we do not want to close the masjid down, number one. At the same time, the work has to happen, and this has to be coordinated with different vendors. It was not that easy. May Allah reward Sister Karima, mashallah. She is the one who has planned so well. The masjid was never closed for a single salah. We have water, we have a lot of rain lately, and it was basically coordinated along with that. The solar installation was happening. This work is happening, basically working 3 or 4 different vendors at the same time. Now, that is really thankful to, I cannot say, the words cannot describe to us what Sister Karima has done, alhamdulillah, and brother, mashallah, the same thing, Yeah. So, the last thing I wanted to say is about this project, this project was actually accomplished less than 3 weeks. We originally estimated to complete this project probably right 1 or 2 days before the Ramadan. But alhamdulillah, things speed up. Brother Ahmad Al-Masri, may Allah reward him. He's been constantly with the manufacturer, pushing to make sure that everything worked out. Now, I would like to give the financials, then I would like to talk about a little bit about the color and as well as the pattern that we selected. If you remember, before when we basically launched this carpet selection, we basically had a survey for the for our community. So it was started sometime on the Friday, and then it lasted for next 10 days or so. And that's, then based on that survey results, everything you see is based on that survey results. I will give you the survey results a little later. Now, before I go there, I would like to give some financials. How much money we aim to raise around 350K. Remember, when we were raising the funds, we didn't know how much money we would require for us to spend on it. So we were aiming, and every single dollar here has been wisely spent, I can tell you that much. And they've tried to save every single dime, basically, to make sure that we get the full benefit of whatever the donations were given to us. So overall, we raised about 291 or 292K, I would say approximately, out of which we spent 173K. So basically, we can give, in an email probably we'll send out about the breakdown if you guys require to see it. But that is what we spent on this particular project. Alhamdulillah, it is a successful project. This has been, all those things that has been accomplished. Again, I would like to thank Sister Karima, Brother Amin, and everybody who was involved. Brother Nader is here. I just wanted to acknowledge about him. He just stepped out. he is involved in every single project, Brother Nader. Yeah, wallah, jazakallah khair, inshallah. So this is our survey results. I just wanted to give it to you. We had about this, whether we need a mihrab or we do not need a mihrab, we just need the border. So that survey was completed, and as you can see, less people have selected the mihrab selection, and 52.7% have selected the border. So that is the reason we couldn't select the mihrab, we selected the border. And regarding the favorite color, there were 932 responses, out of which overwhelming response was about 49 or 50%, close to 50% for the color that we are seeing today. The color is exactly, it didn't came out, but remember that this is manufactured in Turkey, and the colors that we were choosing at the time is basically online. So we tried our best to match that color, but it's very close to it, inshallah. And Allah, God willing, Allah chaha to inshallah, it's going to be good, inshallah, for the long term. Now I would like to give to Brother Amin for the Ramadan update, inshallah.
Cover me. The bad part. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay. I haven't had a chance to use a clicker in a long time. Let me play around with it a little bit. Hold on a second. Yes, we have. Alhamdulillah, we have slides. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Let me see. Please forgive me. I'm having fun right now. So just bear with me. All right. Alhamdulillah. Where to begin? Okay, I'll start like this. Last year, I would say, was probably the most trying and maybe the biggest test for myself, Sister Karima, and others playing the back end. And by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we've been here for quite some time. Myself, dealing with Ramadan, see, I've been at ICOI for over 10 years. Honored to say that when I came in, Sister Zarina, Sister Yasmina Hussein took me under their wing, showed me how to do this thing, right? Alhamdulillah. And also Brother Isa, who had basically just left. So over the course of the last few years, we've been seeing some challenges increasing challenges. So what we decided to do this year, over the course of the last year, since last Ramadan, was put together a think tank, take a fresh look at everything that's been going on and try to find some solutions. So alhamdulillah, we were able to identify one thing that is key. Over the course of the last few years, we've been getting more complaints. Excuse me, grab this one. Thank you. It's good to have more than one. We've been getting a lot of complaints about the noise level during Salatul Isha and Salatul Taraweeh. A lot of running around, a lot of yelling, a lot of horseplay, and things that have not been conducive to ibadah and khushu'. And this is one of the things, the major thing that we realized that we needed to correct. So our priority, we decided for this Ramadan, was to be able to concentrate, inshallah, and make decisions that would promote an atmosphere of khushu', of tranquility, and prioritize the worship, which is something that we should be doing day in and day out here at the masjid. So keep in mind as I go through different things, various things that we'll see, inshallah, and the changes that I'm going to talk about, that they are all in furtherance of this goal. Our goal is to create that atmosphere that makes people want to come. And why do I mention that? I mention that because quite a few people, Muslims in our community do not come to ICOI during Ramadan because of what I mentioned earlier. And none of us want to be written, go before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the ones that were to cause, someone who caused another Muslim not to want to come and pray Salatul Taraweeh during the glorious month of Ramadan. One of the changes that you'll see this year, inshallah, is the age limit. We're putting an age limit for mu'takifin. When it comes to itikaf, we allow itikaf in the last 10 nights. One of the things we ran into, especially last year, is some, let's say, less than stellar conduct from our youth. Over the years, what we found is our youth tend to want to make this a slumber party instead of come for worship. And their parents just leave them to do whatever it is that they want to do, and that's something else that I want to talk about as well, because we need a lot of help from the parents. You all may remember I think I might have given a khutbah last Ramadan about begging for help from our parents and trying to control our children and bring them close, have them with us, inshallah, so that they can participate in the worship. So this year, inshallah, itikaf will be for ages 18 and older. Another thing, upstairs, the sisters have been experiencing a lot of disturbances from little kids jumping up and down, doing a lot of running around and making a lot of noise when they're trying to concentrate on the worship. So what we've decided to do this year, upstairs will only be for sisters ages 10 and up. Sisters ages 10 and up. Now, we understand that we need to have another place for sisters that have kids that are younger than that. So usually what you'll find is on this side, you'll see that the tents on this side, that first tent is usually for brothers. So we're going to call that tent 1. And you all have seen that now we're going back to 4 tents like we used to have years ago. So that's tent 1, tent 2, tent 3, and tent 4. All right? So what we're going to do with that, inshallah, let's see if I have it here. Well, you can't really see it there, so we'll just use that for parking, inshallah. This year, this tent, the first tent number 1 will be for sisters with children, inshallah. Tent number 2 will be for sisters only. And the cafe area, I'm happy to say, inshallah, will be for our senior sisters and our disabled. So we provided plenty of places for areas for sisters to be able to pray. Another thing, by doing that, this helps in another way. Usually, if sisters come late and brothers are praying in the back, sisters have to kind of navigate through the brothers through a gauntlet, and that's not something that's preferable. So now what this does, this allows us to have the sisters come around this way. Any sister that might come late after the prayer has already begun, they don't have to worry about going through all the brothers. They can easily just be directed around this way, and they'll have easy access, inshallah, to the tents here, making it a much easier situation, inshallah. Oh, the other thing, so the next thing, which I keep forgetting, I keep going past, is the iftars. So as I mentioned earlier, one of our priority is khushu' and creating that atmosphere that promotes that, inshallah. Now that we have these other buildings next door that we're calling the village, we're going to start using those this year, inshallah, for iftar. So the iftar won't be over here at the masjid. Inshallah, it will be over in building 5520 and our new 1,300 square foot multi-purpose room that looks very nice, inshallah. And that's where we'll be eating at, and we'll run shuttles back and forth from the village. And we'll have so many shuttles, inshallah, that when you're ready to come to the masjid, or when you're ready to go from the masjid over to the village, inshallah, there will be a shuttle waiting on you. That is our goal, so please make dua for us. So what we'll be eating over here, when we finish iftar, we'll also have Salatul Maghrib in Jamaat over in building 5530, so you don't have to think about breaking the fast, coming over here and rushing back over there. Inshallah, you'll be able to pray over there as well, inshallah. And then we'll talk more about what's going to happen at the village. Now, another thing, of course, the big deal, elephant in the room, of course, is parking. Last year, we made some changes that turned out to work out very well, so we're going to keep those same changes and amendments, inshallah. So what we'll have here in ICOI's parking lot will be for the disabled. ICOI's parking lot will be for disabled. We'll also have the New Horizon parking lot for disabled, inshallah. But over in the Chinese Center, we were blessed to get 150 spaces again this year, alhamdulillah. That will be for HOV, high occupancy vehicles, right? That's your diamond lane. So any families that have 3 or more in their cars, inshallah, we're going to prioritize that in order to encourage carpooling so that we end up having less cars that we have to worry about parking. Now, also, we will have parking at the village, and as I mentioned, we will have shuttles going back and forth from the village to here. So it'll be very easy. You'll be able to park. We'll have security for safety, inshallah, pointing people to where they need to park at. And then you just catch the shuttle, come over here. Once Salat is done, you'll be able to just jump right back in and go over there. Now, another thing that we're doing, we are, again, holding our fundraising auction for some spaces here in the masjid, about 10 spaces, which will be in the back, inshallah. We will be auctioning off some spaces, but that's to help us cover some of the costs. For example, the Chinese Center, we're blessed to have that space, but the charge is $2.50 per space per day for the entire month. And we've already had to pay that, so we need to recoup that. So these are this is in order to help us recoup some of the expenses, to cover some of the expenses of Ramadan. So I know that doesn't always set well with everyone, but hopefully that will allay some of our concerns, inshallah, about the parking. Let's see, did I miss anything? Okay, sparks of faith. So I do want to talk about that. Alhamdulillah. And we'll come back to that with the parking, inshallah. Let me go here. I keep forgetting what direction I'm going in. Alhamdulillah. All right. So for those who don't know, this year we are starting a new program called Sparks of Faith. This is a youth Ramadan program. This is not babysitting. Once again, this is not basic babysitting. This is structured Islamic programs for ages 6 months. We'll have some for 6-month-old all the way up to 8th grade. And that'll be in the various buildings. So we already have our Little Hearts of Noor Club, our babysitting area run by Sister Amanda Al-Amro. She's doing a great job. So if you don't know about that, you have a little kid, please go over there, sign your kid up for babysitting. We basically have babysitting every day. So that's for the little ones. She also has a program of activities already planned for them as well. That'll be in Building 5520. And Building 5530, which this program is going to be for the upper ages. I believe it's grades 4 through 8, inshallah. And it'll be powered by Pioneers Academy that are great. Grades 4 through 8, grades 4 through 8. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So that's grades 4 through 8. That'll be in Building 5530. They'll be doing a youth tarawih. We will have one of our hufad over there leading a salat every night, different hufad every night, inshallah. And we'll have them also giving talks to the kids, and they'll have little snacks. This is every night during tarawih, inshallah. In Building 5540, upstairs, where we have Jannah Institute and STEM Academy, they have put together a joint program for the other kids. This is going up to 3rd grade, so pre-K through 3rd grade. I'm trying to keep all this in mind, and you can keep me in check. Well, you can't really see that, subhanAllah. They have a program they'll be going through Dr. Mustafa Khattab's new seerah book, The Clear Seerah for Children, that he just made for children. They have a program designed around that. This will be every night. So, alhamdulillah, I think we might have maybe over 40 registrations already of kids that have already registered for the month. It is only $150 a month for the whole month per kid. So you work that out to the per day price. And if the child has a sibling, then we're offering discounts for that and financial aid, inshallah. And another good thing is parents who enroll their children over there, they can easily just park there, catch the shuttle, come over here and make things easy. They don't have to worry about fighting the traffic to pick them up on a nightly basis, inshallah. And did I miss anything? Oh, I do want to go over the parking areas once again. So we do have, this is very important. I forgot to mention the purple areas. So you see these purple areas in the shopping center in Albertsons area, that's where we can park at. We are not allowed to park in front of any of the establishments. We're allowed to park in the back. We're allowed to park on side of Kohl's, on the Trabuco side, and also on the Roosevelt side, on the side of Albertsons. So that's very, very important that we adhere to that, because we are in danger of losing that, as I mentioned just recently. And I think I might have covered everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. We'll see. If I don't have any other slides, then I'm good. Alhamdulillah. I don't know why this thing keeps doing that. I'm sorry? The orange spots. Hold on, let me go. Sister Farah is asking me about. Is this right here? Oh yeah, I talked about those. Those are the auction spaces. Those are right behind the minbar right here. Yeah, those are those spaces. But Azia can help me out right here. Yeah. Say it again. Oh, yeah, go back one. Another thing that we've embarked upon, or should I say reignited, is the Green Masjid project. So we're trying to raise our level here at ICOI and do better about how we treat the environment. We began the Green Masjid project 2 or 3 years ago. It kind of fizzled out a little bit, and now we're reigniting that. We're blessed to have as one of our operators in the village, Art and Wilderness Institute. I'm sure you're probably familiar with them. They've been around for about 5 years, and they do a fantastic job with this. And they, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have agreed to take us on as their kind of pet project. Right? We'll be the pet project that other masajid can point to, or they can point to when they go to other masajid to try to get them on to buy into the Green Masjid project. One of the things that you've already seen, you look at the water dispensers, you see we no longer have cups, right? So we scaled down on having cups, and what we're doing is we're encouraging everyone to bring their own reusable water bottles so that we can care more for the environment. So in addition to that, you'll start seeing some other things, and when we have our banquet, inshallah, on March 1st, the things that you see there, inshallah, you'll see we have a lot of things that are reusable, and we're going to start trying to do away with the plastics as well. We do still have some things to get rid of. We'll see what we're going to do about that, inshallah. And I already talked about sparks of faith. We can go past that. We can go. Those are the really good, alhamdulillah, the really good slides. Jazakumullahu khairan. Look forward to any questions that you might have after all the presentations are over. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, brother. So you can start with the cap.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أفضل الصلاة والتسليم. This is actually a summary of where your zakah and sadaqah for 2024 has been spent by category. So as you can see, almost 400K went to rental assistance, 128 for direct assistance. We do every year 3 zakat distribution. Actually, this year the zakat distribution just went out a couple of days ago. We have close to 435 families that receive checks in the mail before Ramadan as part of easing the burden on these families. And then we do Zakat al-Fitr, and then we do Eid al-Adha and back to school. So every one of those really distribution is 80K. We don't spend the entire 80K from here. We break it down. 40K roughly from Irvine, 40K from Rahma. So we split the list in order not to deplete our entire budget just for those 3 zakat distribution. Counseling is obviously part of our Sadaqah program. Same thing with scholarships and educational grants. We have seen an increase in number of homeless Muslims. Actually, I hate to say this, Trump is right. We have seen last 2 years a flood of people coming through Mexico, and many of them are Muslims who basically have no benefit, no place to stay, nothing. And somehow the word have spread about this masjid being a generous masjid. So we basically are getting these requests so often. We do some help for families like fixing cars, insurance, registration. We no longer buy cars, used cars, because that's a very expensive endeavor that we really cannot afford to continue doing. Utilities, funerals, and then we obviously are supporting, I would say, a fair percentage, 15 to 20% of students who attend the weekend school and the Quran Institute who need some subsidizing to teach their kids Quran and Islamic studies, and they cannot afford to pay the full tuition. There was some limited collection by Sister Atiyah during the year for Palestine that also came from here. In total, we spent close to $900K, exactly 880K, and we received donation between Zakah and Sadaqah of 1.2. So you can say we ended the year with a surplus of 300K, but 40 something, almost 50K is gone this week, even before we start the Ramadan collection for the Zakah distribution. Next. This is just giving you a sense of what is happening on the CAP program. The number of new applications, by the way, I'm not talking about older application, has almost tripled in the last couple of years. So the demand actually we are receiving is overwhelming, and I need here to thank, again, the office, Sister Karima, her staff, for supporting all these daily. Every day I get like 6 to 10 applications sometimes. and it's really becoming very painful. We're trying to increase the bandwidth of the volunteer case managers. And these numbers does not include the repeat cases. So let me explain what that means. Today, we have over 70 now, as per 70-something, as per today's count, applications. I would say every year, 25 to 40%, there are people who keep asking for help every 6 months, every year. So those are not counted into the new application numbers. So you can clearly see how the demand is for help, basically in the last couple of years. Next one. So again, everyone working on CAP is a volunteer. We have promised the community that 100% of your money would go to the needy. We have been holding that promise. I don't think we have spent money buying a single stamp, for example, for all the checks that goes out. And we are enjoying, obviously, the benefit of the office supporting us without paying anything for at least the initial processing of the application. We have a group of volunteers that are the case managers. It's a diverse group of sisters and brothers speaking Urdu, speaking Arabic, Persian. So we try to have and we assign cases based on who's the most suitable person that can do the case assessment while making the person applying for help feeling comfortable. We are now actually outside Orange County. We expanded our service. We have a case manager in Riverside. We are supporting cases in southern LA, like Hawthorne, and so we're expanding our service area as well. One of the things that doesn't cost the CAP program anything, and again, I'd like to thank Brother Amin, and it's led by Sister Bushra. By the way, beside the case managers, we have two other key people who are really helping. So we have Sister Bushra for the food, and Sister Afshan for the food drives, and Brother Nader for the cars programs. So we actually, every other month, just for information, I know a lot of people like to donate food. We have a truck that we fill with supplies. And these are the best possible supplies from Costco and Smart and Final. And the whole truck is filled every other month, and it goes to one of two food pantries in needy areas. One is Sahaba Initiative in the Inland Empire. The other food truck goes to Islah LA, which in southeast LA. So again, doesn't cost CAP a penny, but we have thousands of food supplies being donated every other month for those who want to participate. We are continuing to struggle with the cemetery project. Death has become super expensive, 15 to 25K or so. We're trying to find a piece of land. We have a person willing to put $2 million to buy the land, but so far, finding a land in Orange County that fits the requirements has been super hard. Actually, last weekend, I went with a brother, a new real estate agent we hired. Again, you go through dirt roads and hikes, and the land is full of trees, and I mean, this is affordable lands, but that doesn't help or serve. We need special zoning for these cemetery. It has to be either undesignated or agriculture. And finding a flat land zoned accordingly with sewer system, water, electricity, roads at an affordable price, it has proven to be so far a challenge. Finally, if you're asking what other needs we are seeing, I think transitional housing is continue to be a need. As I told you, there is more people coming with no homes, people sleeping in parks and cars, and including sisters with kids and whatnot. So that's a problem. We have done some arrangements with Islah LA where they have some buildings where they give us every room that has 2 beds for $1,300 a month, which is very cheap. But we need more creative solutions for housing. People without work permits or anything else, they need work. and does the masjid want anyone to do anything sometimes? And I'm not sure I want to put the masjid, in a spot where we are paying illegal immigrants, wages, etc. And then obviously the Islamic cemetery. So these are three of the needs that I can see from just the ongoing activities. Inshallah, if you have any questions, we can answer later. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Mohi. Inshallah. So we will have Brother Ahmad. Inshallah. Yeah, sure.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My name is Ahmed Al-Malki. I'm part of the board, part of the expansion committee. If you haven't heard about the expansion committee, or if you don't know what it is, basically it's a committee that was formed to basically do strategic planning for anything related to our expansion in the village. When I say the village, I'm talking about the 3 buildings on this side of the property, as well as the cafe in the back. So what we do as an expansion committee is negotiate the contracts, look for operators, make sure that we strategically plan the operations and services that are being offered to the community, and make sure that they are synergistic, that they support our vision for the community and our vision for establishing the village, right, as we call it. We also have several members, board members as well as non-board members on the expansion committee. So before I get into it, I'd like to just recognize Brother Brother Nadeem, who joined us. He's not a board member, but he's been crucial in helping us with our efforts. Brother Ahmed Sidqi, myself, Brother Amin, and our new member, Sister Karima, who's joined us and provided very valuable input, and our honorary member and consultant, Brother Ahmed Al-Masri, who's always supporting us. So Jazakumullah khair. So we've given several updates in the past community meetings about the expansion committee. So I'm not going to get into the whole history of everything we've done. I'm just going to kind of focus on what we've been doing since the last update that we gave to the community. Happy to answer questions later if you'd like to go back in time. But today I'm only going to be focusing on the latest updates. And basically, the biggest ticket item that we're focusing on right now is the permits. We're working with the city. It's a very difficult process with the city of Irvine to get permits for anything. We're looking to get permits for zoning as well as for building tenant improvements and construction. Because we are planning to, the picture you see here is a rendering of what the new building 5530, which is the one-story building, what it's going to look like. It'll be basically a very wide space where you can have banquets, conferences, you can convert it into a prayer space, overflow. So that's our biggest project. It's going to be our biggest expense, and it's our biggest complexity, highest complexity when it comes to getting city permits. So alhamdulillah, the good news on this is that we have submitted the permit application to the city of Irvine. We have received a response from them, which is another really good milestone. As normal process works, when they submit a response, they ask us questions. So they're asking us a lot of questions about the permit that we're applying for, and we need to now respond to them. So we've been working with our architect and our parking consultant, because they ask questions about parking, they ask questions about traffic study, they ask questions about the architectural drawings and diagrams. So we're in the process of creating a formal response to give them back. So that's where we are today. Like you see here, we're responding to questions about the building, construction, as well as parking. And we have a target date to submit the response by March 15th. So inshallah, soon we'll be able to respond. And we request all of your dua, in Ramadan especially, to help us get the permit. That's going to be a huge benefit to the community. The other thing we've done in the interim is we've changed our strategy a little bit to say, you know, while we're waiting for this long process to happen with the permits, we actually asked the city if we can do a temporary permit to use the space in the new way. Because As you know, this current building is actually was an office building. It had cubicles. It was just a company. So for us to technically use it with permission as a overflow space, as well as place for Sunday schools or space for Ramadan or any activity, we asked them that we have an immediate need to actually use the building without having to wait for the longer term process. So we have created, as you see in the second bullet, what's called a temporary application for a temporary permit. And we're using Ramadan, of course, as kind of the reason behind that. So we've submitted that. That's also a complicated process, but it can go through the city faster. So that was kind of a strategic move to speed things up, get us into the building. We just submitted the application for the temporary permit today. It took us a while to build that application, and we just submitted that today. Hopefully, that will get us more quick access to the building where we're not in any risk of using the building in an unsuitable way from the city of Irvine perspective. Finally, the gate. I always say that the gate is probably the single most important part of this whole project of expansion. I ask for all of your dua to make that happen in Ramadan. That would be amazing. It will be a paradigm shift. It will be a huge change for us if we can get the gate access so that you can walk from here to the village and back without having to drive around or walk all the way around Albertsons and Kohl's. So the good news is we have made progress on the gate issue. We've been focusing on building relationships with the HOA of the neighboring facilities. All of our neighbors on what we call the JCC, it's the Jeffrey Corporate Center. That HOA has to approve the gate, and that's been our biggest hurdle. We've made a lot of good steps to building relationships with them. We've met with them several times. We've personally went out to each neighbor in each building, owners of each building, and given them gifts and welcoming them and asking them to welcome us as neighbors and ensuring that we're good neighbors to them. And things were working great. So that's the good news. The bad news is we took 2 steps back. And I hate to share this. I really hate to be sharing this issue in the first place. But we had some kids that have been doing 2 things. One is breaking the fence in front of New Horizon, the fence between New Horizon, the parking lot, and the village. It's kind of a easy to break fence. So I'm not sure if it's kids or adults. I'm not going to blame the kids for everything. But somebody has been breaking that fence to get access to the community. That's one thing. And every time we fix that, it would get rebroken again, or a different part would be broken. That has kind of really hindered all of the work we've been doing to act as good neighbors. We obviously can't prove that it was from people from this community, but they have claimed that they saw people that look like Muslims that are using that and breaking that. So we had to do a lot of damage control, I would say. To make things worse, just a few days after we met with the president of the HOA with his staff and other people and his lawyer, it was a great meeting. We made a lot of progress. Literally 2-3 days later, one of the kids, a couple of kids were caught on camera throwing a rock and beating down the door of one of our neighbors in the JCC, all the way to the fact that they actually broke one of the windows. And unfortunately, we found out from the video that they were kids from this community. The good news is the parents have been working with us and cooperating to make it right. Again, more damage control that we're doing, but I hate to say that that has really hindered us in terms of establishing those relationships. I encourage everybody to, again, like we always say, it takes a village to raise a kid. I encourage all of us to really work on making sure these things don't happen again, whether it's from our kids, from our adults, or anything like that. Again, we're going to continue to build those relationships, fix those problems, and move on. we ask for your help in doing that. Inshallah, if we get this done, we are making a strong case for, all that being aside, we're making a strong case for this gate to be viewed by the JCC as not just something that's going to help ICOI, but something that's going to help them as well, is going to cause these problems to go away, is going to cause the traffic to be easier, where people can park here and walk there instead of driving around and causing chaos and more traffic on the other side. So we're making a case, and it's working, but we just can't afford to have these setbacks. So this is my last slide. I won't talk too much, but happy to answer questions later. If you think about our path to where we have come, we started with buying the buildings and leasing. We then continued to improve the buildings, and then we started looking at populating the buildings with what we call operators or Muslim businesses. Alhamdulillah, we have now 10 different Muslim businesses hiring countless different jobs and operating in the village. If you haven't been to the village and benefited from these services, out of these 10 operators and businesses, we have over 30 services, 30 services, everything from women's education to women's gym to men's fitness to kids education, after school programs. So I highly encourage you to visit our website, and we're going to be renewing our website and refreshing it soon. But you really need to benefit from this village for you and your family. Every part of the family is considered as we look for the services that are going to be there. And so buying the building, building the village, getting the operators. Now we're in kind of phase number 4 in our strategic plan to actually now push in terms of marketing, branding, and educating the community, not just the people that come here every day, but to expand our focus on everybody that comes to ICOI, whether you're coming here once a year in Ramadan, or you're coming here once a year in Eid, or you're coming here every single day. We want to expand our marketing and our branding to the entire community. So stay tuned. Don't have a lot to share today, but in the next few days, you're going to be seeing a lot of improvements in that space of marketing. This is a picture of one of the we're looking to, as you can see here, really focus on top tier services and quality. So the image of the masjid as well as the village is going to be very focused on making sure we provide this image of quality first. And we're going to be having very nice looking, you can see this is a digital signage device where it's almost like a vertical screen or a TV that's going to be placed in strategic areas around the masjid as well as around the village. That's going to provide all kinds of marketing, flyers, websites, things like that, videos that are going to be rotating. So you'll see a lot more coming in the next few days, and we'll be launching this at the beginning of Ramadan. So make dua for us, and please participate in using the services and increasing the value to the community. And happy to answer any questions after this, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sorry. Can I have that? Okay. Jazakallah khair, brother Ahmed. So we are in the last slide now. If you have any questions, inshallah. Yeah.
You mentioned that you collected $290,000 for renovation projects and you spent only 170. What are you going to do with the rest?
So, yeah, we did collected 291K, out of which 174 is spent, as you saw it. I think when we made this announcement, I think we made it very clear that, like, since we didn't know the exact amount, how much we're going to be spending on, so we have to go for the bigger number. Anything that is left over is going to be used for the operations. So it's going to be used for the ICOI operation. So that's where it is going to be used.
Jazakallah khair. We appreciate this. So what's your suggestion? Yes. Okay. So what would you consider as part of the sadaqah jariyah in the masjid? Mm-hmm. 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 Well, of course, we have a lot of ideas ourselves, but we would like to hear from you. Do you have a specific idea? Okay. 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 Mm. Okay. Jazakallah khair. We appreciate that.
First, Jazakallah khair for everybody, and may Allah accept your good deeds.
Amen.
I noticed in the line items on the CAP program, the educational grants, it's $20,000. I think our students, and we saw some students in universities, they really, really need money, and we've talked to them. They're struggling. So this probably, I don't know, from a fiqh perspective, I'm not sure that it's going to go into sadaqah jariyah, but I would suggest maybe to help those students with the leftover. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. I'm actually supportive, obviously, of the students. We have not turned down requests for scholarship to date, by the way, and but we typically have a limit of one-time scholarship of 4K. It's not like an open-ended type of thing. Also, this number does not include, we get scholarship requests at Rahma, at here, and so there's another fund, but there is a third fund I'm not even including. There are some wealthy individuals who are asking me, guide me to students who are in need, and they support them also directly. So we play that middleman role where we say, we did the due diligence on this case, and the wealthy individuals, they also help them as well directly. But as I said, we haven't rejected to date any requests, but we have a limit, which I think is a reasonable limit, because once you open the door, it's very hard. So. I am not talking about the remaining money. I'm just responding to my brother saying you spend little on scholarships. I'm trying to explain, but that's a different subject. Obviously, the board needs to take into account if the board is willing to transfer whatever extra funds for scholarship or something. I welcome it. The more, I'm not going to say no. So.
Jazakallah khair. Yeah, I think the brother's point was well taken. I think a lot of people can understandably think that, okay, well, if you're giving it to the carpet for people to pray, that type of thing, and thinking in terms of sadaqah jariyah. I did, however, whenever there was a solicitation made, and I've heard Brother Ahmed, when he asked for this money, he said every time that if there is anything additional, it will be going to the Masjid General Fund. I just happened to hear that several times coming here, and so I'm not surprised by that. Having said that, I understand and honor the intention that people have with respect to sadaqah jariyah, and if the board maybe has some sort of an understanding of what that means, because I think different people have different understandings of what that means, so that's something that has a continuous benefit. And people might say, well, that's CapEx, right? That's capital expenditures in the masjid, that's construction, that's carpets, that's lighting, things that go on for several years. Or there's, why why isn't it necessary that salaries or expenses that are going on are also sadaqah jariyah, that is part of the whole process of maintaining the masjid. And I don't think the brother is, or I am, actually suggesting that we just decide here and now what is sadaqah jariyah, but it might make sense for the board to address that issue as well.
Jazakallah. Jazakallah.
And the tables and the desks properly? Yes. The chairs are torn. The chairs were torn, but recently they have been replaced. But we need more chairs and more tables and cleaning of the tables. They have been abused. And the one other question is, how will you monitor that especially the ladies don't take food and water upstairs? You've allowed the water bottle, and so many of them have opaque water bottle in which they carry coffee and tea, and that spoils the carpet. So how will you monitor that? You need a lot of volunteers.
That is a great question, to be honest with you. I think we had an episode already that somebody actually brought in the food and they spilled it on the carpet, I guess. So I think that has to be enforced. Probably, I think we have to, obviously Sister Karima and Brother Amin has to, basically we have to suggest them what to do, kind of thing, and then probably, we'll try to enforce it, inshallah.
Without any position, if you tell them,
they will get offended.
So assign some volunteers.
Just, yeah, inshallah.
That's true. I've seen a lot of people get offended when the wrong folks try to assert like a rule that the masjid has. I have 3 questions, but I'll just go one at a time to give other folks a chance. My first one was, I haven't seen the tents outside. That's the one that's going to be for the mothers and young children. But some questions that came to mind were, what are the considerations maybe for the mothers and children's comfort level in case it's going to be cold? Will there be anything to warm them up that's safe within the tents?
We have heaters.
And heaters, okay, mashallah.
And walls. And walls. So we're going to cover all sides, inshallah, and we have heaters.
Okay, that's awesome. I was thinking about safety and little kids running around.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'll give the mic to someone else.
Brother Hussein.
He has a big voice.
Our other announcement guy, man. Alhamdulillah, he's awesome, man. This guy's
awesome.
awesome.
First of all, jazakallah for all you guys are doing. Like, seriously, it's amazing to see how much the transition in such a short period of time, how smoothly, and I know how many goals you guys have. I'm just fast forwarding, it's nothing huge. I just wanted to know what's the goal, what's planning on for Eid al-Fitr's prayer.
MashaAllah.
I know, the reason I'm asking is because you know how fast Ramadan is. In 2 seconds, we're going to be celebrating Eid. So.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So what do you mean, what's the plan?
Is it going to be a great park? Have you guys...
I got you. Okay, you made it easy for me. All right, so Sister Karima and I just did a walkthrough at the Great Park 3 days ago for the Eid. All right, so alhamdulillah, inshallah, it'll be at the Great Park in the Palm Court where we've been having it for the last few years, inshallah. And this year we're going to try to make some type of use out of the hangar. It's supposed to be a surprise, but alhamdulillah, surprise. Inshallah. Good question, man.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for your efforts. The only question I have, I saw the presentation, it was awesome, but everyone talked about a top-tier services, best services, but no one has talked about the affordability. What I see is the big challenge in the problem because I recently joined the mosque. It's been 2 years. I moved not to Irvine. I moved to the US. I just joined here. This is my first place. I just came. So what I see is no one talks about the affordability. Everything come here, you have to pay donations. Everything is super expensive. Even the daycare, the school. I have a kid. I cannot afford the school, the New Horizon. I want my kid to be raised in Islamic culture, but I cannot afford it because it's super expensive. Even it's more expensive than outside other schools. Or similar the daycare, because we had a daycare, I asked about it, it was more expensive, even the one outside was cheaper than this one. Then I said, if its mosque is going to invest in supporting and building the community, but they are not taking care of the affordability, and that is a challenge. A lot of Muslim families cannot join even, they cannot come. Even like a very, very nearby example, I would say, we have a Ahlan like banquet, like there is a gathering for community, but the ticket is a $50, while a meal for one person is a $15, the best one. But why is being titled like a $50? For a family, it's a $500 a table. I cannot bring my whole family because $500 everything I pay for for the school for my kid I pay $2,000, and then for the daycare I pay $900, $1,000 something. Then end of the day, it's not affordable life. It means as a human, we all are not in the same status. We have to take care of the whole community. We have a different people, different around, and I agree that school, I asked about the school, they told me we provide financial aid. I say, okay, fine. If I show you my paycheck, you will not entitle me to financial aid. Alhamdulillah, I have a good salary, I have a good thing. But you will not provide me. But there's a lot of families, they come here, their 4, 5 kids are studying, and I was shocked, and I asked for one of them, how can you afford like a 5 kid, you pay $2,000 for every kid? It's a hell of a lot of money. Say, I get a financial aid. I say, how is possible? I cannot get my financial aid because I'm a WD employee, and I cannot get anything because the salary, see, they cannot entitle me for that one. But how you can get that? You say, yeah, I have a more income, but I don't show it. And that's what, the mosque, the environment, in the regulation makes a Muslim to lie. And why we're making it? Because of the rules we made it, which is not affordable. So the Muslim families unintentionally is getting ready to lie for something, at least to admit his kid for education, which is, I think, is a big problem for us as a community. Thank you.
Let me take a crack at that, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan. I think that's a fantastic question. Alhamdulillah, I appreciate the detail as well. One thing, as Brother Mohi pointed out, with our community assistance program, we offer financial aid. We offer financial aid. So let me clarify one thing before that. ICOI and New Horizon are 2 separate entities. We're not connected in any way except that we're neighbors, and we're good neighbors to each other. So I just want to make that clear. And they do have financial aid. May Allah Ta'ala bless and reward them for that. Alhamdulillah. We have Quran classes, other classes. We have Sunday school. We've been offering financial aid for that for years, probably almost since inception, at least since the inception of the community assistance program, and that continues, alhamdulillah. We have some families that don't pay anything, some families that might pay $10 a kid, some families that might pay more than that, based off of due diligence, alhamdulillah. So alhamdulillah, we do due diligence. The other part of that is I do want to make a clarification, because I don't think you were talking about our babysitting, right? Because our babysitting is not that expensive. Our babysitting, you can get $8 an hour, basically. That we had? Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about maybe about a year ago or something like that. Okay, yeah, I'm referring to Little Hearts of Noor Club. That's ages 6 months to 5 years old. It does, yes, because it's not qualified. So in order to have a daycare, you have to meet certain qualifications. One of the ones that we don't meet is we don't have an outdoor area. So in order for us not to go to the city and lie, we have to show them that we don't have that space. So it's limited. If somebody's, maybe mom is coming to participate in a talk for sisters or something like that, or going to the exercise room, the gym, then she can drop her kid off for a couple hours. And even if they're coming over here, a parent is coming over here, they can drop the baby off for a couple hours, right? But definitely it's expensive in this area, in the Irvine area, At the same time, we do have to realize that the people are providing a service, right? And they have to also make a living. So it's kind of like a give and take, But alhamdulillah, I'm happy to say that we do offer the financial aid for things. I do want to comment on the banquet, because I did hear you, right? As far as the banquet, I'm on the committee, right? This is a fundraising banquet, So it's looked at, this is also looked at as that this is something that's standard, across the board. When people are charged, when different organizations are charging for tickets, it's understood by those who are coming that, hey, we're doing this to participate, to help edify the organization, I know that doesn't smooth things over, and I'm sorry about that, but I hope I did address each point, inshallah. And Brother Nabil has a question next over there too. Yeah.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Amin. I think you answered the question. I just want to add to what Brother Amin said is, as part of the expansion committee, we look at all the services in the village. When you talk about the gym, or exercise room, when you talk about Ayat Academy, STEM Academy, we are very careful to make sure that their pricing is competitive with similar services in the Orange County area. So if you look at the offerings they do, they have discounts for multiple members. If you have a family of more than one person participating, they also compare like-to-like services and make sure that we're always below the competition. And you'll see that in pretty much most of the operations. And as Brother Muhi said, we have never refused or turned away somebody that needed help, and that we always advertise these services as no one will be turned away if they can't afford the service. They just have to come through the proper processes, because we have a responsibility to use these kind of financial aid situations to help the real people in need, and with the limited resources. But we have never turned away somebody that is struggling, and we invite people to come and use those services as much as they can. So just wanted to add that, inshallah. Go ahead, inshallah. Okay, should we just, we'll get back to you, inshallah, for follow-up, inshallah.
Jazakallah for all the efforts. This is great. Ramadan is coming. I know it's a challenging thing, but one thing that caught my attention is the expansion team, or the expansion project. The fact that we're going, because this was mentioned a year ago, is this sustainable as a village for the Muslim community? Are we going to be sustainable entire 5 years while we're renting that building? Now, I want you to keep this in mind. The fact that you're trying to open it to the outside world, that means we're struggling financially. I'm actually very surprised that no one talked about Q4, which I actually came here to see the numbers for Q4, because we're going down slow. From Q1 to Q3, it's all going down, okay? So I haven't seen any of that. And that tells me, where is the CFO? Where are the numbers? We're already in the second month of the year. That's one. The fact that we're trying to open the village to everyone else, that defeats the purpose of having the village, the Muslim village.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Nabil. I'm actually very glad that you mentioned this, because I was worried that when Brother Malki was talking about the rebranding or the marketing of the village, that it wasn't very clear. The marketing is going out to the larger Muslim community. It's not going to the non-Muslim community. So I'm so glad that you mentioned what you mentioned, to make it very clear. Whatever marketing is happening is going only to the larger Muslim community. We're not opening it up to the non-Muslims, yes, because we do want to protect our youth. So thank you for asking this question. Q4, I don't know if, maybe some of you know, some of you don't know, our CFO's father passed away this week. And she actually had to travel emergency to India. That's why you didn't get the Q4 today. And it wasn't right that for any of us to actually present the Q4, because she is the CFO. So the point that you mentioned about, are we struggling? You know me, and I have said, I have also talked about how I worry about the money of the masjid, right? Whenever I come to the point where I worry about something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the door. And I have come to believe that this masjid has been blessed. Because really, honestly, whenever we get into some kind of an obstacle or a hurdle, Allah opens the door. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah. So like just recently, what was it that we got approved for? The welfare. exemption. Can you talk about that?
Yes.
This was a fath from Allah, honestly.
All right, assalamu alaikum. So I'll try to answer two things because I think one of your questions wasn't answered, Brother Nabil, about the, well, she answered a little bit in terms of if we have somebody from the alphabet community come. This is the reason why, from a legal standpoint, these buildings, everything is under ICOI. So what that does, it protects us because we can say, if you come, you're not a member of ICOI, so you're not welcome here. You have to be a member. And this is the way we went into this eyes open, got this advice from an attorney, and others in the Jewish community are doing the same thing, as a matter of fact. Sheikh Mustafa was the one who told me about that maybe over a year ago, that he had a talk with some rabbi from another place, and this is the way that they were doing things. To refer to, just to comment real quickly on what Khala Noha was speaking about, we applied back in probably early November of 2023 for a welfare exemption with the Office of the Assessor in this county for buildings 5530 and 5540, which we own. So we own half of building 5540. And that exemption would give us an exemption from most of the property taxes on the buildings. So it took them a long time to finally get around to it because they're really backed up. They're kind of 2 years behind. They sent someone out to do an investigation, an inspector to come out. We had a great discussion, myself and Sister Karima, and just within the last 2 weeks, I believe it is, we found that we were approved. They sent us our approval. What does this mean? That means that any taxes that we've paid on those buildings since we got them, the first one was in July 7th of 23, the other one was August 30th of 23, we get the majority of that back. We've already gotten back $57,000 in the last couple weeks just from that, and we're owed more. This also means that going forward, inshallah, we have to pay much less taxes on the buildings. Right now, we have a bill in front of us before we got the approval for $30K right now for those buildings and property taxes. Now, alhamdulillah, we've been approved, so it goes down to this, inshallah, and we're still expecting some more money back. So that's part of the fact that Khala Noha was talking about.
Jazakallah khair.
Brother Nabil, I just want to reassure you, wallahi, yani, everyone on the board, their heart is really in the right place, and we're really seriously taking this amana, yani seriously. So inshallah, bi'iznillah, inshallah, we're going to continue doing our best and reassuring the community that the money and the donations are going, inshallah, in the right place. وجزاkallah khair for your ghira, for your care and concern for the community. And please keep it coming. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khair. You have to say.
Jazakumullah khair. I think they've answered most of the questions. From an expansion committee perspective, I just want to clarify to everyone, if I wasn't clear in the presentation, that when I talked about expanding the marketing, I was not talking about expanding the marketing to non-Muslims. I'm not sure where you heard that. We have never said that. It's never part of our strategy. It never will be part of our strategy. What we're doing is we want to make sure that the message goes out from just the circle of people that come here every day to the people that come here less frequently. So that's what I was saying in the presentation, that there's probably 5,000 to 6,000 people in this community that are Muslims in this community. Maybe I would say 500 to 600 of them come more regularly, but the rest don't. So our marketing strategy is to reach out to that larger group of Muslim community. And from a transgender LGBT perspective, from day one, we talked to our lawyers, we talked to our consultants, and from day one, we set up the whole village structure to protect us in terms of keeping our Islamic principles as the main core principles that apply to the village, and to protect us from issues like, for example, you heard of the Total Women's Gym that shut down because of transgender lawsuits and so on. We have already protected ourselves from all of those risks, and we are not marketing outside of the Muslim community. I just wanted to make that super clear. That's never been part of our vision. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, thank you everyone, and I appreciate all the efforts. اللهم تقبل منكم ويحسن نواياكم إن شاء الله. I want to share two requests that I hear from my friends regarding the spiritual goal for Ramadan, which is al-khushu' inshallah. So the first request to maintain Imam Sheikh Muhammad to lead the Taraweeh in full. Yes.
I'm telling you from now, no, he's not going to.
He's not willing to do
He
that.
always say to people, yeah, I'm willing, but the board asked me to just do 6 rak'at.
I know firsthand, he actually is not willing to do that. We beg him actually to do that, and I'll continue to beg him, but he also has some trainees. I am actually, you are not the only one, and we got that request. I actually love Sheikh Muhammad to do everything, but I am not sure I can get him to do that.
Yeah, actually I understand the trainee issue, and I was one of them, but the training outside Ramadan is acceptable, but during Ramadan is...
I agree. I'm just, let's lobby him together.
Yes, that's what I was about to say, like, let's lobby.
Especially that we faced a big problem last year in last 10 days.
Yes.
Yeah, in Tahajjud. Like many different people, they are all good, but one is enough. Like, okay, 2 is enough, but repeating or changing people during the same day is not.
I think Sheikh Muhammad actually had a discussion. He said that he's going to minimum do 6. But if the community wants to do 8, we can go back and talk to him. Yeah, but I think he probably, inshallah.
Yeah, okay.
The weekends versus, like when I spoke to Sheikh Muhammad, because again, I had the same issue. I love Sheikh Muhammad. I moved my family here because I want to pray with him. So we all know the value of Sheikh Muhammad. He told me personally that he's willing to look at models where maybe it's a hybrid, where he would take over the weekends, for example, full-time, like all 8 rak'ahs, and maybe have only the last 2 rak'ahs maybe on the weekdays done by somebody else, ensuring that those people always have a minimum standard of qira'ah, tajweed, and flow, and so on.
The second request, to shorten the time for break during Isha and Taraweeh, and during also Taraweeh. Like even if we are giving lessons during the Taraweeh, it's better to make it just on the weekends, or I'm not sure if you planned already on this.
No, just for Ramadan only, yeah. So basically for Ramadan, Taraweeh Khatira, it will be on average 5 minutes, and we just finalized it's going to be only 3 people. Sheikh Mustafa will do Tuesday to Saturday, Hassan will do Sunday, and Monday is going to be Sheikh Jamal, and that's it. And so those 3 people are going to be doing the Khatira. You already know how fast Sheikh Mustafa is. So he's doing the majority of the 5 out of the 7 days. So it will be, the Khatira at least part will be short. As far as the break, I would say programming and Brother Amin, just hopefully, yeah.
And also between Isha and Taraweeh, last year it was a bit long.
Can I give my announcement though?
Yeah.
Can I still give my announcement? Inshallah. Which schedule are we talking? Oh yeah, I think we're ending now. So.
Okay.
Between how you're asking about Isha to Taraweeh? Yes. How much gap?
Actually, we used to go 20 minutes after the adhan for the Isha Salah. This time, what we are doing is like we are fixing the time because it's confusing people a lot. So this year, the first 10 days before we have the daylight saving, it's going to be 8 o'clock, and then 8:30, and then 8:45. So we are having a fixed time. The reason for that is because everybody doesn't have to look the calendar every single day and add 20 minutes for the Isha. And for the Fajr, it's going to be still 20 minutes though.
Yeah, I'm talking about from Isha, after Isha to Taraweeh.
When you start Taraweeh.
Oh, after Isha, like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, yeah, exactly. That's our usual, yeah, that's our usual. That is a fix, yeah.
Last thing regarding the bathroom.
Yeah, so we have another 4 more minutes. So you have questions?
Yeah, for the patio, it is also for sisters?
No,
Or
that's for brothers.
for the men?
That's for brothers.
That's for brothers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to provide like a separation.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you give him this? We have 3 more minutes, brother. Sister. Yes.
Oh, yeah, she had her 2 more questions. We got 2 more questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. My first question maybe was to piggyback off of the point from the brother about having programs available for our youth, especially for if finances, are an issue. I kind of wanted to ask you guys what has been like your thinking so far. I'm sure you've put a lot of thought into this in terms of maybe offering low-cost or no-cost programming at scale to support with families trying to preserve the Islamic identity of their children and give them good companionship, good socializing opportunities, good community opportunities that maybe are not as structured as the paid programming and services that we find in the village, but just to help with the accessibility at mass, at scale. So that's one question. And then my other question was about communication of the important parking announcements and stuff. What considerations you guys might have to attract people's attention continuously to these really important rules that you need folks to stick to? Because you mentioned, brother, that we don't want to break some of the parking rules so that we don't risk this agreement and that agreement and all that sort of thing.
I'm going to start with the second one because I like it the best, the most, right? I gave an announcement after the Iqama, but before the Takbir at-Tahrim, during 2 Jummahs a few weeks ago. So that's how I get everybody's attention. Nobody can leave, right? So that was kind of really cool. So that's one of the ways. And I've put out newsletters, and I talk to people, and we also pass out, we were having the security guards pass out maps. If somebody comes after the parking lot is full, there for a while they will pass just handing out maps so they know how to get to the off-site parking and they can catch a shuttle. So that's some of the ways.
Can I add a couple more to suggestions?
Of course.
Perhaps on Instagram and your social media channels,
yes.
have those carousel imagery, and then maybe just one super short video containing all of the critical announcements that you guys have, super short that people can reference.
I love that.
Hey, what's the rule? And maybe have QR codes and signs around the place, everywhere, even during breaks and khatib and everything, reminding folks to revisit that material, the video, the whatever, to continuously keep it in their mind.
I think that's awesome. I love that. So I'll tell you, matter of fact, I haven't even mentioned this out loud. Sister Karima doesn't even know this, right? So myself and Brother Hossein, he's not in here anymore. We're planning to do a commercial. We're planning to do an ad and have somebody film us. He's going to go to different parking spaces. Brother, can I park here? And no, Akhi, you know you can't park here, man. And then we're going to put that out in the different spaces. So hopefully we get to do that, inshallah. But we haven't. I'm serious about this too, right? So I'm actually excited about it. I'm just waiting. We're waiting on the sun to come back up. The only thing that we might not do is the inside. We don't like we don't want to plaster things around the masjid now that we have it looking really nice,
And I'm sorry, one other thing I forgot to ask about was the security concern that you guys mentioned. What security considerations maybe have you guys entertained, like having those portable security cameras that have flashing lights, or those floodlights? What are they called? The Ring doorbell cameras, or something of the sort of that.
You're talking about for what happened next door?
Yeah, or just monitoring any areas of concern.
Well, we actually are in talks with the HOA about that. One of the things we talked about is a solid brick wall and cameras and the motion-activated floodlights. We talked about all of those. So we're waiting on them to come back to us with quotes, right? Because they're looking for ICOI to pay for these things. I just want to be honest with you about that. And we'll see. So yes, the answer is yes. We have talked about all of those things. There's actually something else I talked about, but I can tell you about that on the side. I can't remember the first question, so please forgive me.
Maybe a quick introduction to the board's thinking and approach to this concern.
The youth.
Accessibility at scale.
I got you. I got you. So we have a vacancy for a youth program director. We've been having that consistently for some years. There's been a gap, and the reason why it's on pause right now is because we want to try to bring in a full-time religious director first, so that he can take part in making that selection. I'm not sure how long that's going to be, so we'll see if that's going to change, inshallah. So thank you so much. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika.
Sister Farah, you have to say something because I don't know. Brother Atta?
No.
There's one more question.
No, he has the same question about the youth
Okay.
director and the religion.
Okay, inshallah. Can we conclude now, inshallah? Sister Noha, is it okay? Okay, inshallah. Can we conclude, inshallah?
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you all so very much. Jazakumullah khairan.